Hey guys, it's Bridget and I'm here in the greenhouse and I want to talk about April seed starting. Okay, so we're officially in spring. Oh, today is the first sunny, beautiful day that we've had in a while. It's been rainy. It's been just so difficult for us Californians to handle. But the beauty is it's time to get in the garden and start growing. Now, I want you to recognize some patterns. If you've watched our previous what to plant in, whatever month, for example, March, you'll notice that a lot of the same stuff is on the board. And that's because every month we're just going to be tacking on a few more things that we can grow that during that time of year. And it's all based on the heat, right? How warm we're getting and how warm the soil is. So you'll notice if you guys watched our previous videos that a lot of this stuff was on here from March. And I actually, little trick here, I just marked out March so you could remember. But you'll see that I talked about starting tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, and now I've added basil, okay? I'm adding basil because we're getting warmer and it's that time of year in which basil is really gonna thrive. You typically start it in the transplant form and then you plant it out, although it is possible to direct sow it. And then we have direct sow stuff, which a lot of it, again, is similar to last month. We have some of your last rounds of cool season stuff that you want to do in the garden. Beets, radishes, carrots. Those really can be grown almost year round, but you're going to want to make room for your warm season stuff, so I wouldn't get crazy with those. Chard, greens, if you want to do potatoes for the spring, we typically plant them in the fall, but you can do another round of potatoes now. Cucumber, beans, squash, melons, and all of your flowers are things that you want to focus on here in April, okay? Now, something to note is you can see in my greenhouse, I have all of my tomatoes up to this size. Please do not let it cause you FOMO. We have plenty of time to start our tomatoes in zone 9 and 10. These were started very early so they could go out into the farm. And in fact, we're really 3 weeks behind because we've had so much rain. They really need to get out of the greenhouse, but that's my problem, not yours. They look amazing, but I have and you have plenty of more time to start more rounds of tomatoes, eggplants, peppers if you want. One of the reasons why we put melons in on April and not on March is because the soil is still pretty chilly in March, and in April the weather's really going to start warming up and the seeds will germinate a lot quicker. So the other thing to think about is I've got used row cover, which you might need to use row cover on melons as well. It's just a protection method in case the nighttime temperatures get a little low. Also, it helps regulate moisture, which we've had a lot of rain, so that's not a big deal. But you can be a little less concerned with using row cover during April because the temperatures are starting to warm up. So those are a pro tip. If you don't know what row cover is or you have questions about it, we have tons of really great videos on our YouTube channel about row cover, and it's a product that I'm obsessed with because it really takes you from being kind of a novice gardener to a much more professional gardener. Now let's talk a little bit about flowers. So I love flowers so much, and planting flowers in the spring is something that people commonly think of, right? They're like, it's spring, everything's blooming, I want to plant flowers. Well, that's a great idea, although I really recommend that you check out our video on starting flowers in the fall, because you'll see that when you start flowers in the fall, you have robust blooms during this time of year because they've been growing all winter. Now don't worry, if you haven't done that, there's still plenty of time to grow lots of flowers, including zinnias are really great. You can either direct sow them or transplant. If you ever have any question, it's right on the back of the pack, okay? So direct sow or transplant. Scabious is one of the awesomest flowers because it grows kind of like a weed. It grows so easy. You can transplant it out into the garden. Flax, I've got tons of that in the garden as well. Grow it once, it'll reseed, you'll kind of have it forever. So before we go, let's actually look at what we're gonna be doing in the garden. So I have some tomatoes, they look beautiful. These starts are a perfect size to plant out. And I've got cool season crops, these radishes, that are done. They're not gonna do anymore. I didn't harvest them quick enough. We ate radishes all year long, but now they're starting to go to flower. Their flavor is going to decline. They're going to be woody and pithy. They need to go into the compost or to the chickens. So these guys need to come out. See, you can see here we've got radishes, but if I were to break one of these guys open, here, I'll just You can see they're pretty pithy, still kind of edible, but they're pretty spicy, not great flavor. So they need to come out. And I'm also tired of eating them. So I'm gonna pull all these guys out because, oh, look at the pretty lettuce. I need to make room for my tomatoes. So all these guys are gonna come out, and then I'm going to transplant our tomatoes in. Now, a key thing to recognize with tomatoes is don't let them get root bound. Okay, this is a really good looking root ball. It's not too tight. I can easily break it up with my fingers here. That's a good looking plant. It's a nice thick stalk. And remember, with tomatoes, all these little hairs are actually going to become roots. So you can plant the tomato well up to this part of it, and you'll actually have a stronger tomato because all of this will turn into roots. So I'll get this guy planted along with all my other tomatoes, pull up all my cool season crops that are done, and make room for melons, squash, beans, cucumbers, all the crops that I want to start planting now.